Good evening, Mayor and Council. Back in 2008, the Sitting Council decided to give discretionary powers to the police officers in relation to the noise ordinance, and within that, the previous ordinance only allowed citations be issued on a complaint issue only, and when the council changed those numbers back in 2008 to give officers discretionary power to issue without a complainant, it was decided to start tracking that, and one of our valued community members always brought that forward to us. And what we tried to do this year is beat him to the punch and bring this to you before he had to ask.
And he's not even here tonight. I don't know.
But he was here during the last the committee meeting.
Yes, he was.
So just briefly go over this. Starting in 2008, we did receive 915 noise complaints during the calendar year. Out of those complaints, 38 citations were issued, and they were issued in 4 areas, 1 state statute, and then 3 areas related to the city code. Based on those 38 citations in 2008, 23 were found guilty and 14 dismissed and 1 pended. We went into 2009, our noise complaints dropped to 871. Our citations also went down to 22. Of the 22, 12 were found guilty, 9 dismissed, and 1 amended. In 2010, noise complaints continued to decrease to 781. 20 citations were issued. Of those, 13 were guilty, 6 dismissed, and 1 amended. In 2011, 650 noise complaints were received. Of that, 16 citations issued. Of those, 11 guilty, 4 dismissed, and at that time, 1 pending. And then for last year, we received 633 noise complaints. 18 citations were issued. 8 of those were found guilty, 5 dismissed, 1 amended, and 4 are still currently in the justice system up in the courts. Just to show a trend chart here on the graph, we can see that since 2008, they've been slowly going down until we reached the plateau here in 2011 and 2010, where we received a few less complaints, but not as significant in the previous years, and citations also reduced up until last year, where we wrote 2 more. On the overall chart, it does show that on average before 2008, we were receiving between 900 and 1,000 calls per year. Since that date, we have gone down significantly, reducing it overall by about 300 calls. Of those calls, we do take enforcement action 2% of the time, and either warn or educate the other 98% of the time. So I wanted to bring you this update, and we'll be open to any of your questions.
Thank you, Chief. Looks like it's working.
Yes.
I hope this is something that we can share with the Associated Students of the University of Idaho. I know when it was first brought forward, there were some concerns there, and I think it bears out that this was a very good idea, that it's being judiciously administered, and that it's an effective kind of neighborhood coalescing tool, I guess.
Yes.
Council members, any questions or comments for the Chief? Walter?
In addition to your comments about how it's being administered, having ridden along with the police, I would say it's being administered by the police department in a very courteous manner, but firm, explaining to them what the ordinance is and what the ramifications are of repeated offenses in the same address and so forth. But I'm very impressed with the officers on the force out there handling the noise ordinances.
I agree. We appreciate the report tonight. Thank you, Chief.